All right, good morning. I'm on Mountain Dean Stone today, riding a trail called High, Wide, and Handsome. It goes from the top into, basically into town, into the South Hills of Missoula, from the top of Dean Stone. And it actually, unfortunately, starts off with a bit of a short climb. I think, I don't know, approximately, I would say the first mile is alternating between climbing and flat. And then after that, you get a pretty sharp descent. 1900 vertical, I want to say, for this trail. And then you have a couple trails afterwards before you actually get into town. In total, just under 4 miles for High, Wide, and Handsome. So, yeah, skip ahead if you don't want to watch me pedal for a little bit. You just want to watch the downhill. Wow, that wasn't great. Right before the technical climb too. Oh, got a stick that flew up into my spokes, which is great. Slowed me down right before the climbing part. All right, here's another little techie climb section, or at least just loose rock tech, I guess you'd call it. Whew. There it is, no problem. Man, I was the first one up here this morning. Went through hundreds of cobwebs. I guess I cleared them for the way down, but my bike was absolutely covered. Looked like a neglected bike that had been sitting in the attic of somebody's house for like 20 years. How many cobwebs there were on it. All right, we're coming up on the high point of the trail here. If you were to take a right here, you get to House of Sky, which is a new trail they just made. I think I already made a video. Actually, I know I already made a video, which you can check out. And I'm gonna keep going down that way. All right, let's get a little bit of biking in here. Like I said, this is sort of a trade-off between slightly downhill, flat, so not quite the actual downhill section yet. Well, this little section you can get some decent speed going, and I think it gets flatter right here. Eventually I'll have to pedal a little bit. Woo! Close to the edge there. Although this trail is labeled as a blue, it's a pretty mild blue. Probably just some of the loose rocks and exposure makes it a little bit, just a touch tougher than the green, but it's not really tough, it's more slightly riskier. So it gets pretty steep drop off there to the right, although I don't know how well the super view does. It makes everything look a little flatter. Woo! All right, some flat pedals. Very cross-country feel right here. Ooh, is that grouse? I don't really know my game birds. Quail, maybe? It might have been quail. I think quail's smaller though. I think that's grouse. Woo! Yeah, if I wasn't trying to record the trail for this, I probably would have just stopped where it starts going downhill again, primarily. But I figure might as well get the rest of it. I made it this far up. It's a decent ride with the full loop, and including the other trails that you have to do to get to this one. It's about an 11-mile loop. It's got to be about 2,600 or something vertical feet. It's a decent ride. Okay, road crossing here. I think that was it for the climbing. It starts trending downhill now and then really picks up downhill in a minute here, but get a little speed, get some pedal strokes in. Let's see if I can ride my bike. There it is. If you want to do the full loop, that was the split off, or you can do the full loop around the mountain. This trail does have a lot of switchbacks, and for the most part, they're not that supported. They're not bermed out, and they're very loose rocks. So you will lose a touch of your flow. But between them, as long as you're able to look far enough ahead for hikers, you can get some decent flow going. And there's some sections that are way more switchbacky than others. There's a few, there's like 10 in a row or something. Maybe more than that. Feels like that. Whew. All right. All right, so that was the flatter section here. And right at the end of this little section, it'll just be downhill. Right after this little thing, I think. Get some nice views of town up here, although the smoke is finally moving in. We've avoided fire season for a lot longer than usual this year, but it's starting to roll in. I can definitely feel it a little bit more on my climb. Oh my goodness. I definitely forgot that that was a switchback. Had a little too much speed coming in. All right, now's the down part. Again, a lot of switchbacks. There's a section here that has a bunch of road coming up right now, followed by a straighter section, more switchbacks, and yeah. It's deceiving because it seems like they start off with a bit of a berm in them and then it flattens out the deeper you go into the turn. So it's like the opposite of what you want. So you start with some support like this and then whoop, it's just flat and blown out and you can't maintain your speed. So don't be deceived. They're definitely more designed as climbing turns than downhill berms. No, that's what you get with multi-use trails, though. Oh, all right. Let's see if we can get a little bit more fun going here. Good little berm in this turn, although, whoa, that's loose. Huh. Another turn coming up. God, I wish I was better at those flat, loose turns. Crossing. Oh, it's loose into this. Whew. There we go. Good views right here. Not too bad. I'm gonna take a quick breather, get some water. All right, let's keep it going. Coming up to another very switchbacky section here. Probably should have kept my momentum going while I had it and stopped at the top of this. Forgot that there was a little uphill section. Ugh. Man, I am not woken up this morning. I am drowsy. All right, let's go again. See if I can wake myself up. There's Missoula right below us. More blown out turns. Woo! All right. It's definitely not that intense of a trail, I'll tell you that right now. I have seen a handful of, you know, rigid gravel bikes doing this trail without issue. It would have no problem. It's definitely a very light blue, maybe dark green kind of trail. Not that challenging for sure. Woo! Switchbacks. Oh, it'd be nice if they could build up those berms a little bit. Oh, it's so tight. Oh, that was a shin banger right there. That hurt. Oh, big old rock right to the shin. That is definitely going to be bleeding a little bit. Oh, that does not feel great. Whew. Oh, it's the problem with riding on these loose rocks, man. They just fly up. Off the trail there. At least my back wheel did. Been able to catch it in time, but definitely tough to get a lot of speed on this trail. You got to really rein it in. You find yourself getting confident, and all of a sudden you got to stop. It's off camber. Whew. These loose rocks in these turns. Please build up some berms for us. Please. I'd do it myself, but I know the permissions for this are kind of weird. It's not really a, you know, go at it kind of thing. little bit of support around there, more than any of the other ones so far. Here as well, although it ends too soon. All right, we're at the bottom part of High, Wide, and Handsome. Woo! Coming up on the next little trail that gets you close to the bottom. Woodsy Spur.